Good morning, 3C. This is Mr. Wong. Today is the 4th of May. Okay, today I'm just going to go through the answers for last week's work. So, last week's work was for page 203 to 206. Quite simple questions. So let's get started. All right. So let's start with page 203, question 1. The distance between Peter's house and Ravi's house is 6,750 meters, which is here. This is the total. Ravi cycles from his house, which is here, to the park. So how much further, which is this part, Ravi needs to cycle to Peter's house from the park. So you're finding this red part here, which is the question mark. So the total is this much. This is the distance between the house and the park. We want to find the distance between the park and Peter's house. So very simple. All you need to do is to use the total, which is 6,750 minus away the distance between Ravi's house and the park, which is 4,350. Okay, let's work it out. So I have 6,750 minus away 4,350. This part should be quite straightforward. So answer is 2,400 meters. Okay, so some questions they may ask you to change to different units, but in this case, there's no need to change to different units because the answer statement is in meters. So all you need to do is just use the final answer, which is 2,400 meters. Okay, so this is question 1, quite straightforward. Okay, question 2. During a sports meet, a competitor ran 26 kilometers and cycled 49 kilometers. How far did the competitor run and cycle altogether? You want to find the total. So straightforward, if we draw a model to represent this, basically there's two parts. One is you ran, which is 26 kilometers. This is the part when you ran. And then the other part when you cycle, which is 49 kilometers. So we want to find all together, which is this question mark. So looking at this model straightforward, you know that you have to add them together. So all you need to do is to use 49 add 26 and this part, let's work it out. So 49 plus 26, 9 plus 6, 15. We group the 1, group the 10. So 1 plus 4, 5, 5 plus 2 is 7. So it's 75. Okay, so straightforward again. Units is the same, 75 kilometers. So that's the answer for question 2. Now let's go on to question 3. Okay, question 3 says that the distance between the sports club, which is here, to the hotel, which is here. So this part, okay, so the first part, distance between the sports club and the hotel is 5 times the distance between the sports club and the shopping center. So one way to show it is through using distance line, which is this. The usual way we do it is to use models. So let's look at the models. So distance from the sports club to the hotel is 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times as far as the distance from the sports club to the shopping center, which is 1 unit. So so sports club to hotel 5 units because 5 times. Sports club to shopping center is only 1 unit because that's the smaller one. Okay, so and from the diagram we know that from a sports club to shopping center is 6 kilometers. So if you want to find the distance from the sports club to the hotel is 5 times. So straightforward, it will be 6 kilometers times 5 because it's 5 times, and that will give you 30 kilometers. Okay, so the answer is 30 kilometers. It's simple as it seems, but a lot of you or some of you don't really know what the numbers mean. Some of you write, for example, 6 kilometers. Yeah, you know it's 6 kilometers. Some will use 6 kilometers times 5 kilometers, and then you realize I mark it as wrong. Okay, so it is not 5 kilometers. There's no 5 kilometers here. This 5 is actually 5 times or 5 units. So if you write 6 kilometers times 5 kilometers, or whenever I see a 5 kilometers, it means you don't really know what does the numbers mean. So when you write 5 kilometers, it's actually wrong because there's no 5 kilometers at all in this question. Okay, it's just 6 kilometers and 5 times of it. Okay, so if you wrote 5 kilometers, probably I mark you as wrong. Okay, so please know what you are doing, what the numbers mean. That's the most important. It's not really the final answer. Okay, so let's go on to question 4. The distance between the lake and the cave is 4 times. So this part is 4 times as long as the distance between the lake and the waterfall. So this is has some similarity with question 3 on top. So with that, let's draw the models. So what you have here is that you have distance between the lake and the cave. So lake to the cave is 4 times as long as the distance from lake to the waterfall. So the next one will be lake to waterfall. Okay, so distance from the lake to the cave is 4 times. So this is definitely more. Okay, so let's write the word more on top first. Okay, so we know that the distance between the lake and the cave is more. So if this is more, this will be less. Okay, the lake to the waterfall is definitely less, and you can see from diagram also the lake to the cave is definitely longer than lake to waterfall. Okay, so with that, let's draw our models. So distance between the lake and the cave is 4 times, so I cut into 4 parts. Okay, so lake to the cave is 4 times, so if lake to cave is 4 times, lake to waterfall is just 1 unit, which is like this. Okay, so let's put some numbers down. I know this 320 is from lake to cave, so lake to cave over here, this is 320. So they are asking you what's the distance from the lake to the waterfall, which is here. Okay, so looking at the models now, you realize that 320 is 4 units. You want to find 1 unit, all you need to do is to use 320 divided by 4. So 320 divided by 4, let's work it out. Okay, so 320 divided by 4. 4 times 0 give you 3. 4 times 0 give you 0. 3 bring down the 2. 4 times 8 give you 32. That's not all, you still have the 0. So 4 times 0 give you 0. And that's all. So answer is 80. Of course, there's a faster way of doing this. You realize you can just use 32 divided by 4 give you 8, put the 0 at the back. Okay, so answer is 80 meters. Okay, because 4 units is lake to cave, so you want to find 1 unit, just divide by 4 give you 80. Alright, so quite simple. Let's move on. Okay, so Mrs. Jones walked from the school to the supermarket and then from there to the post office. How far did she walk? So first part is quite straightforward, and then after that Mr. Lim walked from library to the post office, which is this distance. How much further? I want to know the difference. So you need to read the question carefully. When I ask you how much more, how much further, I'm looking for the difference, and then of course you know you need to do certain things. Okay, so let's do A first. How far did Mrs. Jones walk all together? So I want to find the total. So all I need to do, I have 2 parts to it. One part is 766, the other part is 430. So all I need to do is to find the total, and you realize I just need to add them together. So I put an add first, and then I use 766 plus my 430. Let's work it out. Okay, so you get 1196. Okay, so Mrs. Jones walked 1196 meters altogether. Alright, so now I want to find the difference between Mrs. Lim and Mrs. Jones. So I know Mr. Lim walked 1290. That's the bigger quantity here. So this is Mr. Lim, and then this is Mrs. Jones. So Mr. Lim is 1290. This is Mr. Lim. And then I know Mrs. Jones is 1196. This is from part A. I want to know the difference or how much further did Mr. Lim walk. So if you use the models here, so straight away you know it will be 1290. You need to subtract. If you want to find the difference, you minus 1196. This is from part 1. And then let's work it out. So 1290 minus 1196. Do regrouping. This 8, this becomes 10. So this 4. Need to do regrouping again. 18 minus 9 is 9. And then there's 0 and 0 here. So the answer is 94 meters. Okay, so the answer is 94 meters. So all you need to do is really to draw models, and from the models you will know what to do. So the models is there to help you. So don't be afraid of drawing models. It's meant to help you. If you don't draw, then you really don't know what you need to do. Okay, and this is especially so for the next 2 questions. Okay, let's go to the last page. So for question 2, Madam Rosna used 200 cm of green ribbon. So green ribbon is here. She also used red ribbon, which is 6 times as long as the green ribbon. So red is 6 times as long as the green ribbon. Red is more. That's why red is longer, and green is shorter. And how many times more? 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Red 6 units, green 1 unit, and green I know is 200. So once you have the models drawn, right, I want to find the total. Is quite straightforward, because you know that altogether there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. So quite straightforward. Okay, let's write down. Okay, from this model you know that 1 unit is actually 200. Okay, and in total you want to find total there is 7 units. Okay, you can count 7 total. There are 7 units altogether. So if 1 unit is 200, 7 units will be 700 times 200 times 7, give you 1400. And that is the answer. So you realize that if you never draw the model, you will never realize that 7 is the total number of units. So when you draw it out, you can see everything can be represented by 7 units. So all you need to do is to just use 1 unit multiplied by 7 times, give you 7 units. So the total length is 1400. Make sure you put the units down, cm. Alright. Okay, a lot of you forget about the units as well. Just write the number. So this one is about length. Length has units, so make sure you write down the units. Okay. Of course, some of you went to find red ribbon, then and after that plus 200 to give you 1400. Okay, but you can actually realize that you can do in one step. You can get the answer. Some of you only stop at finding red ribbon. You are finding the total. So some of you don't know what you are doing or don't know what the numbers mean when you finish it. Okay, so when some of you just alright 200 times 6 because you see 6 times, but you didn't realize that you're finding a total and not just the red ribbon. You forget to add the green ribbon as well. Okay, last question. Satay had 265 meters of wire, though this is the total. So this 265 is the total. He cut into 4 pieces, 4 equal pieces. So he cut into 4 equal pieces. and then you have this much left over, and this is the important part. Okay, and what is the length of one wire? What is the length of one wire? So basically they want you to find one wire is how much. Okay, so all you need to do, you realize you don't just cut into 4 parts because there is this amount left over. So what we can do is first, yep, this is, you know that this is the total, which is 265. Okay, I have this part that is left over, which is 25, and then this part I cut into 4 pieces. Okay, so this is the 4 pieces that I have. So 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, 4 piece, 4 equal pieces, and then 25 meters left over. So now how do I find this question mark? So straight away, first you know that I can just minus away this 25, and then I can just divide by 4 because there's 4 equal parts. So straight away, first step, you use 265 minus away the left over, which is 25. This one will give you 240. Okay, and then after that, since you know 4 units is 240, because once you minus away 25, what you have left is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. 4 units is 240. So all you need to do is to find 1 unit because you want to find 1 piece of wire. So 240 divided by, let's leave a space for divide, 4 equals, okay, later we found out the answer. So I put a divide sign. So let's do over here, 240 divided by 4, 0 minus 0, bring down the 4, give you 24. 4 times 6, 24. That's not all. There's a 0 here. So 4 times 0 is 0. And that's it. So 240 divided by 4 equals to 60. Okay, so you realize that this is actually 60. So let's write the answer statement down. Each wire is 60 meters. Okay, please make sure you check for the units. Alright, so this is the homework for last Thursday. It's quite straightforward. If you draw the model, it's quite straightforward. So this is the end of HBL. So make sure you have done every single piece of work that is assigned, including the correction. Make sure everything is done properly. If you want to find the answers, simply go to the YouTube channel, look for the correct date, look for the correct homework, and check out the answers there. So make sure that every piece of work has been completed. Every piece of correction has been done, okay, before you come back to school. All right, see you when school reopens.